우리는 전쟁을 바라지 않지만
We do not want war, but we also have no intention of avoiding it. We will defend our sovereignty, the security of the people, and right to existence. The war will terribly destroy the entity called the Republic of Korea and put an end to its existence, and it will inflict an unimaginably crushing defeat upon the U.S.
This is unbelievable. I doubt the USA saw this coming. Yes, not even NATO countries. At first, it was all about asking this simple question to know, is Kim Jong preparing war against the West? Well, no one was not even sure about that, but now things have changed around because the men have just ordered his Congress to review their constitution because they want to start considering South Korea as their enemy number one. For what reasons? Well, you find out all in this video because something is about to happen. The world is about to experience another World 3, and we need to talk about this because I believe this is something that concerns all of us. But before we dive you through this conversation, I want us first to have listened to this report so that we can all be in the same page.
A significant change on the Korean peninsula. North Korea's leader accuses Seoul of pushing for regime change in his country and says unification with the South is no longer possible.
우리는 전쟁을 바라지 않지만
We do not want war, but we also have no intention of avoiding it. We will defend our sovereignty, the security of the people, and right to existence. The war will terribly destroy the entity called the Republic of Korea and put an end to its existence, and it will inflict an unimaginably crushing defeat upon the U.S.
Long ago, terms were almost agreed between General Nam-il, head of the Communist delegation, and
North and South Korea have been in a so-called frozen conflict since the Korean War ended in 1953. But no peace treaty was signed, so technically they are still at war.
a truce has been signed.
The North has maintained a drive for unification, a goal that was written in the constitution. But in an announcement on state television, Kim Jong says that's to be changed.
It is right to specify in the relevant paragraph of our constitution that education should be intensified to instill into our people the firm idea that the Republic of Korea is their primary foe and invariable principal enemy.
Three governmental agencies dedicated to unification are to be scrapped, and what's known as the Arch of Reunification in Pyongyang, constructed by Kim Jong-un's father, is to be knocked down. South Korea sees this historic change as a threat.
North Korean authorities define South and North Korea as two hostile countries, not same-race countries. This shows the North Korean regime admits it's a group that stands against history and its own people.
Tensions on the peninsula have been increasing for years, particularly since 2019, when nuclear diplomacy between Kim and then US President Donald Trump fell apart. And they've worsened in the last few months. Most recently, North Korea launched missiles near the border with South Korea and carried out military exercises.
From the perspectives of South Korea and the United States, there are concerns about North Korea's ability to rapidly deploy missiles and attack the US and South Korean major bases and targets, especially as there is a clear challenge in intercepting a hypersonic missile, as it has capability of evasion flight in lower altitude compared to traditional ballistic missiles.
South Korea says its military is capable of an overwhelming response. Since Kim's speech, North Korea's foreign minister has met Russian President Vladimir Putin in what's believed to have been a push to agree on arms cooperation between Pyongyang and Moscow and to deepen ties between the two countries. Some analysts say North Korea is skilled in increasing tensions as a negotiating tool and to extract concessions. The rest of the world can keep guessing whether the policy shift is more a theoretical issue or one to be alarmed about.
That was the leader of North Korea urging his Congress in order for them to go ahead and change the constitutions. And all this has become as a threat to the South Korea. But how can South Korea feel that way? And how can also the US get in the middle of all this? Because the main problem here, it is not about North Korea fighting against South Korea, but we're talking about North Korea finding a proper way in order for them to attack the United States of America. I will demonstrate that in a short, but as you all know, that this conflict between the two nations has not started today. This conflict existed about 70 years ago. They were engaged in an open war, and we all know how people died during that time. Since then, their relationship never became that strong. Besides the previous Olympic Games that we saw how they walk in together as one nation, but the conflict still there. And these people, they never get along. These people, they never love each other. For what reasons? Of course, I'm gonna again explain you. So the problem here started that it's the moment when the USA crossed the line and went to the other side of these two North Koreas and choose the side to side up with South Korea. You know that South Korea, they are the American alliance over there in Asia, and they keep working together, doing everything like trading together. They are very supportive. Their friendship are very, 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 very strong. Yes, if you listen very well in the report that I play for you, you will see that Kim Jong considered or called the South Korea as a puppet government because they are puppet governments of the Americans. They believe that Americans are the one who run things over there. And these words had been considered to the leader of South Korea as an insult. And you could see that the men, they are also even more angry, thinking on how they can also get back or respond back to the Kim Jong as the leader of North Korea. Now, why did Kim Jong had to go and say this kind of words to South Korea? Of course, it's because they know very well that America, as their alliance, they've been trying to neutralize the leadership of Kim Jong, not only him, but starting from his grandfather, followed by his father, and himself as the new leader who's running the North Korea. So the Americans, they've been trying to do everything by all means to make sure that they get to stop this new leadership or this dictatorship that has been happening or taking place over there in North Korea. And they've been trying to put a lot of sanctions, the sanctions that never had any impact on the North Korea, because for them, they believe that whatever they will put as a sanctions, whatever the USA, they will try to stop them from the international market and everything, it won't really benefit them from anything. Therefore, they decided to do things differently. They prefer to do things otherwise because they believe that they are good enough with their leader, and they believe that their leader is doing things in the way that they want things to be done. Now, for the fact that Americans did not want to stop about all this, for the fact that they keep on going to attack the North Korea through South Korea leadership, the North Korea, they took that as a threat to their sovereignty because they don't want anything which has to do with Americans. Now they look around all their neighboring countries. You will find out that no, Americans, they even having military base over there in South Korea. They try to include in their in the North Korea Secret Service, trying to use South Korea people to infiltrate in what North Korea they are doing in their countries. So they are like, no, look, it is either you deal with your Americans in your own way and not try to threaten us, to try to destroy us by allowing Americans to come through you. And if you don't do that, then we don't have another choice than just to attack you or to engage ourselves in a war. And that is how things manage to reach to this point. So things get to this point because, once again, Americans did not choose to leave or deal with what is happening over there in the United States of America, but they choose to go around the world and try to attack other people through other countries. As I always tell you, that when you look America foreign policies or foreign politics, they don't attack a country physically like this. because it will look weird, it will look very strange. People don't judge them for that. People call them names. And remember, these are the people who've been trying to pretend how democrats they are, who've been trying to teach other countries around the world on how to live in democracy, how to do things around in the world in democracy. So they believe they are the owner of democracy, and therefore they pretend to be the one who apply this democracy, even though we all know that they don't apply this democracy. So it will be very complicated or very hard for Americans to leave their country all the way from America to go and attack North Korea, to go and attack Russia, to go and attack Palestine, or to go and attack Iran. They will have to use one of the neighboring country. They will have to come and put conflict in your region. Once they put that conflict, they will now choose one of their alliance country which are located among those regions, and that is how they'll manage to invade your country. We saw it, they did it with Israel. I mean, they did it with how to call this, the country of Saddam Hussein. Iraq, they did it with Iraq. They did it with Palestine. They did it with Pakistan. They did it with Russia as well. They did it with many countries around the world. So they usually go through one nation in order for them to attack you. And North Korea, they've been a very big threat to American government, because for them, those nuclear bombs that the North Korea government they've been developing without getting an approval from which comes from the United States of America, for them it is a very big threat, because they want each and every nuclear bombs or any weapons that can be invaded around the world. They have to have the last and they have to have the first and the last word to say about it. So they have to read and study the whole things, and then they will see whether they can approve it or not. They can approve it if they know that they are able to fabricate that the same thing which is more powerful than yours. They can disapprove it if they can see that whatsoever you are trying to fabricate or you are trying to bring to the world, it's something new that the world does not have. Therefore, if they allow you to go ahead and do it, which means tomorrow you might be becoming the powerful nuclear country in the world, or maybe you might even come and take their place as number one in the world. So therefore, they are trying to find any way possible to neutralize you, so that you don't develop something that can be above what they could bear. So therefore, the Americans, they do all these things, then they had to find a way to go through to the North Korea, and they can do that only by going through South Korea, which is their friend. They've been getting along, they've been living their life, they've been doing things. So that is how they managed to do all those things. Now, on the other side of North Korea, they don't want to take that. This short man, Kim Jong, don't want to take that. He could not tolerate it, not only him, but even grandfather. They never accept this kind of nonsense coming from Americans. Therefore, he is now trying to stop Americans from far. And if Americans don't listen, then obviously what we'll expect in the near future, it will be an attack that they will have to attack American straight away, because they can tell that Americans, they are using South Korea in order for them to neutralize what they are trying to do in their countries. So you see again here that the politics which Americans are trying to bring around the world is a politic of bringing conflict, is a politic of putting fire in the mountains, and at the end of the day, they will abandon you as much they are abandoning right now Ukraine.
I'm again repeating, and I'm repeating in these 2 years, if it will be not enough for them, it will not be enough, because Syria was not enough. They began in Ukraine. After Ukraine, in the Middle East, they will continue their plan.
Hey, recently, I was watching the news on one of their channel, the channel that used to do propaganda about Ukraine winning against Russia and Vladimir Putin. It's all about a matter of time. Russia will be defeated, blah, blah, blah. The same channel, the same TV that they've been doing all these propagandas. As we're talking right now, they've changed the language because they don't have money to found Ukraine anymore. Now they are showing how Ukraine soldiers, they are lacking some of the weapons, so rockets and drones to use against Russia. So you can tell already that Russia is busy defeating them, but they don't have the courage to accept it because there's no money anymore. Things are very tough, and now they're accepting or telling Zelensky with his government to go and negotiate with Russia. So these are the same story again they're trying to repeat with South Korea. And if I was one of the South Koreans, or if there's any South Koreans that are watching me right now, please guys, open your eyes. Open your eyes and don't let your government to be misled by these people, because at the end of the day, these people, they're not gonna go with you until the end. They all see their benefits. They all see their profits. That is all. So don't feel like, no, because North Korea, they're preparing to engage in an open war with South Korea, and you feel like, no, we will fight them, we have America. No, you don't count on Americans. Yes, you don't count on Americans. I believe everyone will agree with me on this one, because US politics is all about looking where you are standing, your profit. When they saw that they are not benefiting anything from Ukraine, you saw what they did. They abandoned Ukraine in the middle of war. Yes, because they were not benefiting anything from Ukraine. But if they were benefiting something from Ukraine, by this time things would have been different. But unfortunately, that did not happen. So I hope this message will reach to everyone, and at least you know what is happening, because we have to come and give you so our analysis about this. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video until now. Guys, it is very important that before you leave, make sure that you like this video, give us your thumbs up. We really do appreciate. The reason why we're asking you that is because we want this message to reach even to more people, so it is free of charge. You are not paying any cent, so please just make sure that you like this video. We'll really do appreciate that, because it is also another way of you encouraging what we are doing here. But if you find anything beneficial in this video and you would like to catch us in our next video, well, it's very simple. Hit that subscribe button right now, so that whenever we are here live, you'll be able to get notification and join this big family of cool bars. That will be all for now. Thank you so much for now. Continue to be yourself. Be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.